How's it going, everyone? Paul with Adaptable Survival. What we're doing today is I'm actually out going to do a military surplus overnighter out at just a conservation area out near me. If I can talk, it's been a little while since I got some videos made up, so I want to start trying to get those going. Stick with me as we get into this. Alright, so I just got to where I'm going to set up camp for tonight. Got this big white cedar here, kind of giving me a little bit of overcover, as well as some other foliage, so if the off chance it does happen to rain, which is not in the forecast, but we all know how much we can trust the forecast, does give me a little protection there. I will be using my Light Fighter 1 tent, so I'll be setting that up here shortly. I have the Granite Gear Chief Patrol Pack, which I'll be using for this trip, and then I have my Hill People Gear Recon Kit Bag, which I just carry different items that I'm gonna need or may need while I'm out here. So as I said, I'm using the Granite Gear Chief Patrol Pack for my pack this trip. So undo the front buckles here. Got an additional buckle across the top, actually 2 sets of buckles. I wanted to unbuckle the top to get into it. For one of my sleeping pads, I just have the Marine Corps Accordion sleeping pad. A great feature I do like about this pack so far is this front opening. It's always one of my favorite things to kind of look for in a pack, to be able to access stuff at the bottom if I want to, without having to dig through everything from the top. Got some buckles on the inside, which allows me to grab my Light Fighter 1 tent. So let's start getting this thing set up. I have the rainfly in the tent itself rolled up in one. So take that, roll it, take your rain fly, set it off to the side for now. What I like to do is just attach the top right away, come to one of the back corners, and just take the hole, insert it into that hole, move over to the last corner. Next step in the process, you just take these little clips, clip them on to the frame all around. Now, as we can see, once you get all of these little clips clipped into place. Gives you a ton of space on the inside, and I could actually run the tent just like this if I wanted to, especially if there's no rain in the forecast, which is not supposed to be tonight. But I think I'm just going to set up the tent how I normally would, save this variation for another night. So on the inside of the rainfly, you have these little metal holes, little loops, that will actually connect to the ends of the top crossbar on the tent itself. 5, maybe 10 minutes with filming, I was able to set this tent up. That's by far one of my favorite reasons why I use this quite a bit when I'm camping, anytime I use a tent. It's extremely easy to set up, extremely easy to take down, which I will show you guys in the morning. A more in-depth review of the tent will be coming in the next couple of weeks here. Tonight, just getting out camping, just having a little bit of laid back time out here. Like I said, one of the sleeping pads that I brought with me was the Marine Corps Accordion style Therm-A-Rest. It should be plenty long. On the inside here. And the other one I brought with just because I wanted to test out running 2 military sleeping pads is a newer self-inflating one. I scored off eBay. This is brand new. Got a little bit of dirt on it, but it is the Therm-A-Rest STD self-inflating sleeping pad. So I'm going to use both of these tonight. It's not going to get too cold out. I think it's going to drop down to about the 50s tonight. But I wanted to run 2 just for comfort's sake. That I picked up a while back is this Therm-A-Rest Neoair micro pump. I've never used one of these before, but I came across it online. Thought it was a little interesting piece of gear to pick up to help inflate sleeping pads if you don't want to blow into them and then collect all that moisture over time, start growing bacteria, those sorts of things. So I picked this up to see how it works. So kind of what I was thinking. This opening is just too large for the smaller one. With this, I didn't get any sort of attachment to connect this to a smaller valve opening, which I seen an older model that had that ability. So Therm-A-Rest, I think you really should add something like that to make this a little bit more effective. But I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way and blow this up just to kind of get nice and inflated so far. Final piece of sleep gear is a Marine Corps current issue sleeping bag. I just have it in this AquaQuest dry bag, but it's going to be the brown version, which is going to be the lighter version for warmer months. Toss that side in there, just over quick so I can show you the front. So you just got your face opening. It does have a little snap here, so if you wanted to snap it shut, you could. And then my favorite aspect of it is it's got the center zip, so when you're laying in it, you can zip it up and down, right down the middle. I did have one other piece of sleep gear for the night that I typically don't leave the house without, and that is my X-Bed Deep Sleep pillow. I'm a big fan of having some sort of pillow in my sleep system. This helps me sleep a little bit easier, a little bit better outside. Real simple. Stuffed it in there. Take it out. Kind of fluff it up. And I don't have to blow this up or anything, which is nice. So then I just kind of let this take shape in my sleeping bag as I'm doing other things for the night. So let's get a peek of what it looks like on the inside here. So I got both of my sleeping pads, my Marine Corps sleeping bag, my extra pillow. Let's get the bag out of here. And as you can see, you get plenty of space in here in this Light Fighter 1. I've got a vestibule over there as well on this side for me to store my gear, my boots, that sort of thing. Alright, so I got my tent set up. Got my sleeping arrangements all put in there. Got that all situated. Filled up my canteen with some water from the creek using my Grail. Now I'm thinking, before I dive into collecting firewood to get a small fire going to kind of combat some of the mosquitoes around here, because they're pretty thick around this area right now. I want to get some food in me. I'm kind of behind on calories for the day. So for my meal tonight, I just have this fire pot spicy pork noodles. I've never had this brand before. I came across it in the store and let's take a peek at it. It had a good amount of protein in it, really good density of calories. So just this packet alone has 770 calories. I like the ingredients, nothing too crazy in there. So we'll give this a shot tonight and see how it goes. So in a rush to get out here and do my overnighter, as I was packing up my gear, typically I carry one of my spoons and my Kafaru ultra pull-out where I keep like my copies, wet wipes, stuff like that. Well, needless to say, I totally forgot to put that back in there when I was packing up. Thankfully, I threw an MRE in my food bag. Had an idea to use that for something, but what's handy with that is there's a spoon in there, so I don't have to go cut a branch to bushcraft myself a spoon to eat forward. The water stirred up my spicy pork noodles, and I gotta let this sit for 15 minutes. It takes a cup and 3/4, so following the directions, see how that goes. Thankfully the MRE spoon came in handy for me to be able to stir that up without bushcrafting a spoon. While this is sitting here doing this thing, I'm going to run around, collect up a little bit of firewood just to have a small fire, just enough to get rid of some of these mosquitoes because they are attacking the hell out of me. Once I do that, have that collected, come back to eat, I'll bring you guys back in. Set up just a simple fire lay, nothing too big and crazy because I'm not planning to have a raging fire or anything all night long, just enough to kind of keep some of these mosquitoes at bay. To start my fire, have a mini inferno left. I figured might as well just use up this tin so I can have that for something else. And just peel that open, give it a quick flick, drop it down in there, and sit back and wait for the fire to happen. Got a little fire going, nothing too crazy, just enough to kind of keep the mosquitoes away because they were pretty much having a feast on me. Still getting a few here and there, but I got this fire pot meal all hydrated back up, and surprisingly it hydrated really well. When it was dry, when I first opened it, it was probably about half full. Now it's about 3/4 full. Let's give you guys a quick little peek of it. And it's definitely got a pretty good kick to it. The noodles are nice and light, so far not too bad. I'm gonna eat up dinner and get the fire going a little bit more, and then I'll bring you guys back in, see how the meal was, chat a little bit, and just kick back and relax. So I just finished up dinner. That fire pot meal was pretty good. Spicy pork noodles probably wasn't the best choice for the middle of summer, but you live and you learn. But overall, I liked it. It was a pretty good meal. Definitely filling. Get a little bit of veggies in there too, so that's pretty nice because you don't always get veggies out when you're out camping. Definitely want to try that out in the winter because my kind of thinking is always want to heat up my core temperature by eating that spicy food. It helps boost your metabolism and it just kind of helps keep you warmer, just keep things ramped up, burning calories, that sort of thing. I want to apologize for the lack of videos coming out. Been pretty swamped with classes going on, doing my own training, stuff I'm working on myself. So I want to apologize for not getting a lot of videos out in the last couple of months, but I'm going to start working towards more of like a 2 video a week schedule. So it might take a little bit of time, but that's the game plan. So whether that's like a Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday, however I want to work it out. I haven't really decided on that quite yet, but that's the game plan moving forward, to get on that kind of rotation. Get a mixture of videos, so it's not just going to be overnighters or gear reviews, some skill stuff, kit development, all sorts of stuff. So I want to try and get a lot of different variety in there, keep things interesting for you guys, but also keep it interesting for me, so I don't get burnt out from doing it. A lot of stuff out there to check out, and a lot of stuff that I want to do. So that's kind of the game plan with the channel, what we're doing here. I just want to basically get out tonight and do a quick military surplus overnighter with the Light Fighter 1, a couple of different pieces of gear, test them out, see how they do. The Light Fighter and the Marine Corps sleeping bag I've used, couldn't even tell you how many nights, and those things perform flawlessly for me. I'll have some reviews coming out on both of those the next couple of months here, so definitely keep an eye out for those. Other than that, guys, I really don't have too much else to dive into. Just kind of get a quick update, what we're doing, kicking back, hanging out by the fire. If there's anything else that comes to mind that I want to chat about, I'll bring you guys back in. But I probably won't bring you guys back in until I hop into the tent in a couple of hours here. So I'm going to get out here, collect some more firewood, just kind of keep this going, keep the bugs away, give me something to do while I'm hanging out, and then, yeah, we'll check back in. So, just chilling here by the fire. It's just after 9 o'clock now. About a half hour ago was sunset, and it got dark in here real quick. So that's something to keep in mind when you're out in the woods. As you can see, there's still some light out in the sky, but once you dive into the woods, it gets considerably darker, even if there's still light out in the open. Let me see if I can flip this so you can see. I can't really see over there. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Anyway, I've experienced this at classes, especially my advanced class last September. I couldn't even see my hand in front of my face. It was so dark, and lost my headlamp, and you guys know the story. Just chilling here, kicking back. Just figured I'd check in a little bit. Not a whole lot going on, collecting firewood, eating, just hanging out, having a relaxing time. Check back in with you guys when I hop in the tent in about the next hour or so. Alright, so I just crawled in the tent. It's about 11 o'clock now, so let some of the bigger logs that I threw on the fire burn down. I got 2 bigger ones Not sure if I got video of it, but cut some bigger ones, made a V to kind of cut down the airflow to kind of let that smolder and burn, get a lot of smoke going to get some of the mosquitoes away till the temperature drop down. I think we're right around in the 60s right now. I haven't checked lately, but it just should be nice and cool for me to get some sleep tonight, hopefully. But this is the inside of the tent, and this is gonna blur out on you. So that's where I have the lantern hung off, and then just refocus for you. Each corner there's these nice little pockets, so I can store stuff in there. I've taken out my socks and stuffed them in there to help those dry out overnight. Seeing how these two sleeping pads work together. I could definitely probably get away with just one of them, but I wanted to see how comfortable running both of them would be. The self-inflating Therm-A-Rest is probably at least twice the size of the Accordion style. Those foam close-cell pads like that, I've never slept very comfortable on those, so we'll see how this goes. I'm probably just gonna watch something. I think I might watch the standard. It's a Go Ruck documentary tonight, and then once I get tired I'll probably crash out, so I will see you guys in the morning for some coffee. Slept pretty good last night. Those sleeping pads work pretty well. Obviously not the most comfortable I've ever slept on, but worked surprisingly well. Didn't really wake up too sore or anything like that, so it's always a win in my book. So I think I'm gonna brew up some coffee now. It's just before 8 o'clock, so not gonna start another fire or anything. Just gonna brew up some coffee, kick back, kind of get the morning started, and then pack up camp and head on. Alright, so I just got some coffee brewed up. It's this G7 Strong X2 ×2 coffee. I actually picked it up at a store called Jungle Gyms in Cincinnati. Usually stop there every once in a while when I'm going down to teach a class. I believe it's available on Amazon as well. If it is, I'll throw a link down below. But for my shelter, the Lightfighter 1, like I said yesterday, is by far one of my favorite tents that I own. I use it pretty frequently anytime I go camping and need a tent. So perform really, really well. I like there's two vestibules, so I can store my gear on one side, use the other side to get in and out. Plenty enough room in there, especially for me. I'm a bigger guy. My feet do kind of hit the other side when I'm laying down, but I like to keep a little room up by my head. And I haven't had any issues with condensation, my feet getting wet, anything like that. The ventilation is really, really well good in there. Like I said, I've used this in the summer, I've used it in the middle of winter, freezing rain, sleet, torrential downpour rain, and I haven't had any issues. All the seam sealing seems to be working really, really well. So I'll do a review on the Lightfighter 1 down the road here. As for my pack, I use the Granite Gear Chief Patrol Pack. First trip I've used on, really like it. I picked it up for a pretty good deal off of eBay. I just like how streamlined it is, how you can open that front. For me, that's a feature I like in my packs, just so I can drop my pack on the ground, open it up, grab what I need to out of it. And then for my sleep system, I have the Marine Corps brown bag. That's their lighter weight current issue bag. I also do have the black bag, and I've used those quite a few times. And then my sleeping pads, I have the Accordion style Marine Corps Therm-A-Rest, and then I have I believe it's an Army self-inflating Therm-A-Rest. Those work really, really well, surprisingly. Normally, on such thin pads, I don't sleep so well. I toss and turn a little bit throughout the night, but I normally do that anyway when I'm sleeping outside. I'm not sore or anything this morning, so that's always good. So slept really, really well. Last night before I went to bed, I was watching GoRuck's documentary, The Standard. Highly recommend you guys checking that out. I don't think it's available on Amazon Prime right now for some reason, but if you have Hulu, it's on there. I still have about like 20-25 minutes left to watch of it because I got tired last night, but it talks about, you know, performing to the standard for GoRuck selection, and that's no easy feat, but that's something for me personally, that's a challenge that I want to take on. So I want to start preparing for that, start getting some running back in. I injured my hip a little over a month ago, so I'm just waiting for that to kind of heal up a bit before I do any more running. But that's a goal for the future for sure. You know, that's just what life is all about, is finding those new challenges in life to take on to help you grow as a person and become better. I'm a big believer in that. That's something I've done with my journey to become a survival instructor. I took my first class just over 3 years ago, and now it's what I do for a living. So I mean, once you got your goal in mind and you start working at it, things will fall into place for you. It's not easy, you know. I'd be lying to say if this was an easy road for me to get to here, but I worked really hard to get here, and I'm looking forward to seeing where things grow in the future. As for the rest of the morning, like I said, I'm not starting another fire, even though I have the available firewood. I'll save that for next time. All I'm going to do is pack up camp, get everything situated in my pack, go pick up some of my trash that I put down the trail so no critters came into camp, finish up my coffee, and then hit the road. But that's going to pretty much wrap up this overnighter. With this military surplus overnighter, what I really wanted to try and do was focus on my main three, so my tent, my pack, and my sleep system. As I go down the road here, I'd like to go do a video all military surplus, so that's canteen, use trioxin to heat up my water, stuff like that. So definitely gonna have something in the works like that, as well as quite a few other projects right now, so I'll be excited to bring those to the channel. As always, guys, like and subscribe down below. Make sure you leave me some comments. I do like the engagement with you guys. It definitely helps. Everyone kind of get something out of the video that's, you know, may not have been thought of on my part, or something new you bring to the table. So I'm always looking forward to seeing your guys' comments. As always, this has been Paul with Adaptable Survival. Adapt your mind, your body, and your gear.